Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So today we are going to discuss subscription billing in Business Central. So this is a module which is introduced recently by in Microsoft Business Central. So this is very important in today's era. If you see our life is dependent on subscription, whether it's a Netflix subscription or a cloud subscription or newspaper subscription. So life is dependent on subscription, and that's why it is quite important nowadays to use subscription billing in Business Central. So let's go deep down into this. So this is agenda for today. So basically, before we start, we are going to have a series on this subscription billing. So this is the first video which we are talking about. And in this video, we will only talk about the key concepts in subscription billing. And from next video onwards, we will go into Business Central and see what's been there and how to configure the things. So first is introduction to subscription billing, core concepts, setups and configurations, billing flow, automations, and best practices. So this is something we are going to do today. So when we basically come up with the subscription, the first thing which comes in our mind is like, what is subscription? Now, subscription, when we see, okay, whatever the services we are getting, if we have subscribed those services or products and we are getting repeatedly bill, maybe it's annually, monthly, anything, and it might be on a defined period. So maybe we can have some membership, we can have gym membership, we can have some club membership, we can have some OTT platform subscriptions. So these are basically called subscriptions, right? And what basically subscription includes, subscription has a contract. It has its billing schedule, recurring invoices, which you get every month, maybe your internet broadband bills, which you may get every month on the basis of recurring invoices. And in Business Central, we are also having usage-based billing system. So what is usage-based billing? Like pay as you go. Like if you see, we are having $0.10 per gigabyte charges for using some storage on cloud or maybe some internet charges. So whatever we use, if we getting billing on the basis of usage, that is also supported into subscription billing in Business Center. So we are having quite simple. So let's see some of the examples where we can use this. So first, basically software licensing firms, like in the software licensing areas, we can have a company sells annual software licenses, like 10 user licenses for a year. You can see the Business Center license. We do have essential license, premium license, team member license. And if we are selling it, so our customers may subscribe us, and based on that, we will basically bill to the customer based on our billing platform. Next, we can have our digital publishing or a media subscription. So like we have discussed already, if we are having any OTT subscriptions, any online subscriptions, so those subscriptions can be basically comes under this. So we can pause it, we can cancel it. So that options we can also use in Business Center. Gym membership management also uses the subscription. So for that, we can upgrade the membership, downgrade or freeze the membership. So those sort of things we can do. Then next, we do have managed service. If there are any usage-based service or we are having any support contracts, those sort of things we can do. Hardware maintenance and usage space. So if like you say, if you use your hardware that much, then this is your cost. So those sort of subscriptions we can have, and the usage-based billing like internet or any cloud storage. And vendor side subscription, so it not only handles the customer side subscription, it also handles the vendor side subscription. So we will also discuss a bit more about this in our future videos. So what is why we use subscription billing? So first is automation. So what automation? Less manual invoice preparation. So if you see currently, we create blanket sales order or manually creating the recurring sales line so that we can basically use the subscription into BC. There was a lack of you know subscription module in BC so that we can basically manage those recurring billing. But thanks to the Microsoft, we are having those features available into BC. Next, we are having the recurring, so we can basically decide how often we want to recur our invoices. So we can have it monthly, quarterly, annual cycle. So simply it's a date formula. We can decide our formulas, and based on that, we can decide whenever we need to receive our next bill. Visibility. So there is a one contract which basically we create for the services or items which we sold on subscription. And basically we can see when we have started the contract, what is the next billing date, what is the billing rhythm, what is the subscription end date. All those information we can see on a single place, that is called subscription contract. And then control. Of course, if we are having single contact for everything, then it is basically help us to simplify the invoice processing and the cost processing if we are doing for vendors. So how basically subscription works into BC? So firstly, we are having one item. So the there is an option in the item card which is called subscription option, where you can select no subscription, subscription item, and other options. So basically you select your item. Item should be a non-inventory item. If you are basically selecting a subscription item, then on that item, you will basically create subscription packages. So you can create subscription packages based on your nature of business. So let's suppose if you are into licensing software, you can have premium, essential, and whatever the licensing type you are having. If you are into membership, you can see like gold membership, silver membership, platinum membership. If you are having any other type of subscription packages, you can create those packages into BC. Then with those subscription packages, Business Central will create the subscription into BC when you sell any subscriptions. And then on the basis of subscription packages, subscription line setup you have done, that could be annual subscription, monthly subscription, whatever the billing rhythm you have set up. So on that basis, subscription line will be created. Then you will create a customer or subscription contract, customer or vendor subscription contract. Then based on your billing proposals, we can generate the invoices monthly, annually, weekly based on our billing rate. Then what is subscription? So again, a subscription represents the customer or vendor relationship associated with the subscription offering. So we have already discussed a lot about this. So we actually know what is subscription. This is a foundation for all the subscription lines. So what basically subscription lines into BC? So subscription lines will represent like what would be your billing period, what would be your billing rhythm, what would be your pricing, how the pricing will come, whether it will come from the item price or would you put it directly on the documents, what would be your next billing date, and whatever your terms and conditions for a subscription would be, that would represent into subscription line. Simple thing we have discussed earlier, subscription packages basically give us that benefit. Subscription line is a detail, basically that showcase our terms and conditions for the subscription. Then what is subscription contract? So customer subscription contract or vendor subscription contract that we can create, and what basically we do, we basically assign a subscription to a subscription contract. So we create it manually and we tell the system that, see, we have signed a contract, or that could be AMC or any contract which we are having with the customer. And see, like these are our subscription contract, and this is my subscription billing lines that we can assign our subscription lines. And based on that, the invoicing and billing information can be created with the help of recurring invoices. So there are some setups which we do into BC. So first set of setup is subscription contract setup. So there is a page in Business Center which is called subscription contract setup. And what we do there is an option which is number series. So there are number series for subscription contract, which is customer subscription contract, vendor subscription contract. You can define their dimensions there. You can define what values should come into invoices as a default. If you create a invoices from a subscription contract, what should be your default values? Those sort of things you can do. If you want to create any additional invoice line, or what your start date would be, so those sort of setups you can do related to your contract into subscription contract setup. Next is subscription option packages. So how we can basically assign the package. So once we create a subscription item, there is an option assign subscription option, and then you can create your line templates with your all the subscription information, and then you can create the package and assign that package to the item. Then subscription line items. So subscription line basically we can create the reusable templates that can be sold or purchased during the recurring invoice. You can create those templates for vendor or customers based on whatever we are configuring. And you can define here billing rhythm, billing logics, how, or the pricing logics, how the pricing will come, how the billing would be, how the base period would be. So those all terms and conditions related to the rules and regulations of your subscription, you can define into subscription line templates. Next, we are having general postings and deferrals. So we are having, customer subscription revenue and vendor subscription cost and deferrals. So what basically happens, like you can decide, if you want to create the deferrals for subscription. If I'm saying the deferrals means firstly it will go into your deferral account, and then you can release the deferrals to the actual revenue or cost account whenever you want. So that is the options available into BC, like whether you want to basically maintain the subscription directly into your revenue account, or you want to make it basically to your deferral account first, and then you basically move the money from deferral account to the revenue account, right? So it also supports your deferral accounting. Last but not the least, we are having billing and automation. So we can select our billing period, billing, what is billing proposals, and job queues. So automatic job queues can be created to do these sort of things into BC. So how we basically do, we firstly do the setups. Then once we sell the any item, subscription item to the customer or ship it, then system will automatically create the subscription. Then we create a contract, customer subscription contract, and then we basically assign the subscription line to the contract. Then system will give you the billing proposal on the recurring invoices. You can create the invoice and post and report. Usage-based billing. So if there are any usage-based billing, so basically you can import the uses into this center by using the data exchange definition or by the APIs. And based on that, system can create the invoices for the usage charges. And we can define basically the roles and permissions for the subscription billing. Microsoft has given the users permission so that we can discuss. And implementation roadmap. So firstly do the setups, then do the accounting, posting, and deferral account, mostly the general posting setups here. And then you can create your packages, items, and then billing rhythms. You can test it and you can basically go live. So this is basically we are having into subscription module. So hope you like the videos. In the next video, we will talk about into Business Central, how to do it into BC, and we'll go step by step from there onwards. Thank you.